We're going to now run on over to ArtCenter College of Design, my alma mater, actually, with a Pando Days project that's digging into places we don't typically like to look, the trash. So their project, it's called Upping Our Recycling Game. And professors Jonathan Abarbanel and Hydran Mumper-Drum are the team leads, with Hydran presenting. Hydran, I hear your students are designing a whole suite of these products that are meant to last and later hopefully be repurposed. It's a really exciting, interesting approach for some commonly used products. So, as a designer myself, just eager to hear more, and want to throw it to you for your presentation.
Great. Thank you for that introduction. I'm so happy to be here. On behalf of myself and Jonathan Abarbanel, we are co-faculty in an upper term product design course. This fall, we decided to take on the challenge of waste. And what we will present today, what the students will be presenting via a video, represents 5 student teams and 5 concepts. So you'll see a variety of solutions that the students have been arriving at. As I said, it's embedded into an upper term product design studio, and we were very much inspired by the waste goals that are contained in the LA County Sustainability Plan. We wanted to to tackle that, use that as a focus for the class. We began with some initial research in which we asked the students to research by way of their own personal waste consumption. So for the first week, they had to retain any waste that they generated, with the exception of bathroom waste, but everything else, whether it was a straw or a gum wrapper or shavings from a pencil, they had to not only collect that material, but then develop categories, categorize the different types of waste, and find a measure for how to give it some value. Do they count the number of water bottles? Do they weigh them? What would be the metric? They did that for a week. Once they developed their categories, they continued it for another 4 weeks. And at the 5th week, they had to report their findings. You'll see some of that work in the video that we will share. From that personal research, they developed some material and end-of-life insights, which were added to goals and strategies used in developing a product service system concept. They worked in teams. Each team has a different product service system concept. They're currently finishing up those projects. Next week is finals, so they're busily at work. I'm going to turn to Alexi and ask him to share the video that the students have put together. They're going to introduce their product category and talk about some aspect of their solution. I do want you to know that the transitions between projects are very swift. So we weren't able to put nice title pages in between. So you'll see 4 projects in one long video.
Hi everyone, we're a team originator. We come from ArtCenter College of Design, and this is Lucy, this is Yiyuan, and hi everyone, I'm Doris. For a personal waste project, we realized that landfill waste, compostables, and recyclables all go to the same trash can. This makes management of waste really difficult because it all goes to the same source. Looking at the makeup packaging nowadays, most of them are recyclable, but since they are too small, so they end up in landfills anyway.
Also, we started to looking at items that we handle on a daily basis and their end-of-life solutions. And some of the products becomes waste themselves even before they're used up. And we're especially talking about makeup. For a lot of us, Some of the palettes that are unwanted or like out of fashion, we just throw them in the corner and never use them again. And that's how it led to our tray project. Trays is a sustainable modular makeup system that allows refilling and customization. All makeup products are contained in small pans of 3 different sizes. They fit into a tray like puzzles, giving users the freedom to arrange them. When a product runs out, they can simply pick out the empty pan and order a new one. Empty pans are collected and returned to the store. This way, there won't be any unused colors on the palette.
We refrain from using plastic in our design to extend the lifespan of our product. The main body of the tray is made from aluminum and has magnets embedded inside, so the steel makeup pans can stick to the tray. We also include a stainless steel clip to connect the trays together.
We created a marketing campaign centered around educating users about the significance of sustainable products. Plastic waste is a serious problem in the makeup industry. By eliminating the use of plastic and creating a circular product system, Trey aims to revolutionize the makeup industry and create a cleaner future.
Hello, we are Orange Boys. My name is Johnny.
My name is Christian.
Today we're here to present our personal waste project. So over 5 weeks, I found out I drank over 70 bottles of water. A large amount of food packaging is also generated from ordering takeouts and shopping online.
Majority of my waste was comprised of both plastic and paper. There were some other high waste products like cans and glass that also contributed to the overall waste.
Since it was a 5-week collection where both of us were supposed to look at how much waste we each produced, then we compared the results with each other. Looking at what was used and how each week was different, both projects had both similarities and differences. The key takeaway here was that the majority of waste produced was plastic and that food waste. We are able to find ways to incorporate our personal waste finding into our sustainable footwear concept for Vans called Origin. So for this project, we are trying to push Vans' sustainability strategy one step further by combining it with Vans' unique connection with California skate culture. We want to help Vans push the culture forward and really stand out among its competitors. The origin story of Surf to Skate is what we are trying to tell through our design to better connect with Vans' California core consumers. By using recycled ocean plastic and locally sourced food waste, it not only represents the story of Surf to Skate, but also eliminate crude oil during raw material extraction and chromium during the tanning process.
By moving the factory from Asia back to the US, we can reduce CO2 emissions during transportation. It also provides more jobs locally for the Californian people. We also aim to reduce ecotoxicity during the end of the product life by extending the usage of a pair of Vans to the repair system. The concept Vans Origin praises its heritage, giving back to the Californians by collecting locally sourced plastic and food waste, turning them into a pair of fashionable sneakers. This product builds an emotional connection with Californian skaters through a great story with the goal of making sustainability fashionable and saying no to fast fashion.
Thank you.
Hello, we're Nutri Design. I'm Liam.
I'm Sunny.
I'm Joy.
And we're first going to start with our personal waste projects. In mine, I learned about how much I was consuming per week and what my real impact is.
For me, I create more waste than I expected.
For me, I realized I purchased more than I need, which creates a lot of waste as well. So we are Nutri Design and we are designing the infinite bottle for this project.
And our concept is designed as a vehicle to get a little closer to a circular economy.
And our system covers 5 stages of baby growth, and we have 5 products in total.
We also have this circular take pipeline for 3 types of material. And lastly, we also provide user a supporting app with user instruction and product assessment.
And our aspiration is to make baby products less harmful to the environment as a step in the right direction.
We seek adventure. We need to preserve our connection to nature. The tools that allow us to do that look like this. These products feature an excessive amount of tools unnecessary for beginner hikers. We want change. Let's get realistic. Realistic is a rentable hiking stick created using sustainably sourced materials designed with different terrains in mind. By researching hiking kits sold today and interviewing Forest Service rangers, we realized enough is enough. We must teach pack-in and pack-out methods. Now let's talk features. We combined essential features of different hiking kits, like a compass, a knife, a saw, flint and steel, a flashlight, and added elements like a shovel, and of course adding features like adjustable length for the pole. Realistic will change the way you interact with trails. How? Realistic integrates a mobile app, which allows you to rent out your personalized hiking stick. First, you will sign into your trail. Then, the app will designate a specific hiking stick suitable for that trail. The Realistic app even provides other resources and facts about your trail. This product not only reduces the overall environmental impact of consumer hiking products, but also shares the gift of nature with beginner hikers. Let's stick with nature and get realistic. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Hydran. What a beautiful mix of projects. It's so fun to be able to see actually all of those condensed together like that. Excited to see what our panelists think. Let's see, Steve, we started with you last time, so maybe we start with Cassie this time.
You have to think of a good question. The name of that last one is so great.
Realistic, yeah.
That one was very good. I love this. All the projects are really quite focused on, the circular economy and finding a new place for our waste and reusing it, which I think is obviously where we really are and what we need right now. When you approached this project as a group, did the students decide that they were all approaching this sort of strategy or intervention? Or did they all come up with this on their own?
Yeah, they knew that there was going to be a particular focus on end-of-life strategies.
Okay.
But they each proposed 3 different reference products. And then we helped them decide which one of those product categories would be most beneficial in terms of a product service system. They do very extensive life cycle assessment work in the beginning. So that's another thing. They have to purchase the benchmark product. They have to take it apart completely. They have to identify and weigh every part and do a quantitative assessment. So that sometimes determines what the category is going to be. They don't do computers. That's a little, tougher to take apart and analyze. And so it has to do with their own personal interest and with our guidance.
Okay, no, that's great to understand. So it'd be great to set up the project in that way, because I think I was expecting them to be connected.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I see the connection now, of course.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Cassie. Chris, let's throw it to you.
Finding the mute button. Yes. Yeah, thank you. I mean, this was really fun to see these concepts come to life. When I think of the challenges associated with end-of-life disposal and making sustainable choices. There's a lot of behavioral research in the solid waste space that says that, if people are presented with a choice at the right time in the right place with the right message, oftentimes they will make the sustainable decision. So, but we may not always have the sustainable product at our fingertips, or we may not have a recycling bin next to a rubbish bin. So there are these kinds of interventions that we can think of to support this idea of circularity. So along those lines, I'm wondering, we're thinking about the products at this point, and there's a lot more that might go into making these come to life. But how might potential customers and consumers be inspired to make the sustainable choice?
So we've been thinking kind of about that. Like, what is the benefit of these kind of speculative concepts? And I think people need to see what the future might look like. They need to get excited about how things can be better and how, design can actually, to your point, not only help them make better choices, but enable better choices, to design things to already be stewards of the environment. So the outcome of projects like this are not always tangible, but they're more a suggestion as to how we might live, on this planet in the next 5, 10, 20 years. The other aspect of these projects is that they're somewhat educational, doing a personal waste assessment. Those things should be done in grammar school or in high school. It could be part of Earth Week or something. So some of the learning, the learning that took place in the class can actually move out of that classroom and enable learning, outside a design school. And lastly, the companies like Vans, they're really looking to up their game. If you go to the websites of those companies, they have a mission. And now here's a concept that uses orange peel leather, and the students actually made and vetted that material to make sure it could hold up as a footwear kind of material. So innovation is another kind of outcome of these projects. Even if Vans doesn't actually build a shoe like that, this suggests that they should consider building shoes like that.
Yeah, I love that. Expanding the concept of what is possible and challenging the status quo. And then just on a personal note, I got my whole start in the sustainability business by doing waste audits in my college dorm and weighing everyone's waste out in the courtyard.
I love it.
So
I love it. And has changed you forever, right?
Oh,
that's great. Steve, let's throw it to you.
Great, well, thank you. These are really cool ideas, and I think what was really neat about it is, hearing the students kind of do their own waste audit and how that inspired their own ideas. Particularly, I also sit on the Eastern Sierra recreational group, so seeing such things as hiking sticks and rentals, and trying to deal with a lot of that waste that's coming out of the parks is really a great idea. One of the things that I also was thinking was sort of, how deep are you going into this assessment? Because I think it would be really interesting to, a lot of these students were talking about, local manufacturing and kind of understanding the greenhouse gas implications for doing almost greenhouse gas assessment. And particularly those transportation costs that are often embedded in those materials. So, kind of leaning in deeper into, keeping the local production looking at that aspect might be super interesting and engaging, and help these products be even defined more in the sustainability.
Yeah, many of the students actually calculated carbon footprints of their original benchmark product and then compared it to their concept product. It's sometimes difficult to be accurate because you don't know exactly where all the materials are coming from that go into the reference product or where those factories are. So you can only estimate, but bringing things, local manufacture changes by several orders of magnitude what those carbon footprints are often. And for students to realize that, that's a big kind of learning moment, that simply by moving sourcing and manufacturing and warehousing, it can have a big impact.
Yeah, it's great to hear, and I think it's also great, about the workforce development issues too. Many
Right.
people are looking at and tackling on the green economy.
Yeah. It's hard to get everything into one class though, right?
Oh, that's true. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Hydran. Thank you, ArtCenter. Great work on that.